Hey everybody, it's Drew.
And it's Blake.
And you're listening to the Lock, Stock, and Two Smoky Controllers podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 56. Before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and shoot through our little social media preamble real quick.
Yeah, it's almost just internet, like you say, internet stuff. I put social media in the show notes and stuff like that. We got so much stuff that's really just general internet presence now that I don't know, maybe we should consider.
Change it to the internet presence preamble.
The internet presence preamble. I don't know. doesn't sound as good, but anyway, go ahead.
So, first and foremost, we appreciate everyone who's been buying things, but we do have a lock stock store that's got a plethora of shirts and beanies and koozies and a few other things.
Yeah, I got pillows on there. What all did I put on there? Water bottle. I put a bunch of stuff on there, including a sweet pair of underwear with our logo right where it needs to be.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Where you're thinking right now? That's where it's at. I also have, this is strictly for me, I have another podcast with a buddy of ours, Steve, and that is Action, the movie podcast. I'm not gonna, it's just me and him, spoiler warning, we go deep dives into movies, we each pick a movie, and we don't talk about it until we record the podcast, so everything we talk about is the first time we're hearing that opinion, or that notion, or quip, or whatever.
So your opinions don't, so you haven't had weeks of your opinions molding each other.
And influencing the other.
Yeah.
I've also written a story, a little short story you can find on Amazon. It's just called They Come This Night. You can search that title and it'll pop up no problem. Now, we are on a couple of things. We do want to thank all of our Patreons who have been contributing to us. Mm-hmm. We're on Patreon, as I just said. We also are on Twitter and Discord. We use those when we can.
And more talking directly to people if we can.
It's easier because Facebook's got those blocks and stuff like
algorithms to make you fail.
But speaking of that, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Reddit, which that me and Drew both operate. Drew does primarily the Facebook and the Reddit, and I handle the Instagram. We also would like to invite everyone to come watch us Twitch.
Sounds funny when you say it that way.
Watch us Twitch, because we'll be playing some of that later today probably. We'll put an announcement out on the Facebook and the Twitter. As well as today, we also have the Spotify playlist that the podcast is on Spotify as well, but today Drew has a playlist of all the songs that we've done thus far, and we'll be adding to that today. Stick around for that. And if you have any questions, comments, so on and so forth, suggestions of video games, you can email us at 2 smokingcontrollers@gmail.com. And all the links to all of these things will be in the show notes if you can't understand me through my mumblings. With that said, I think we're ready to go ahead and start because today we're doing 2 games and a band, as I said earlier with the Spotify thing. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into our first game. And our first game is called Donut Country.
Every time I was reading the name of this game, I said county in my head.
It's country.
Are you sure? Because it's a small place. It's a little county. Is it county? See, now we're going to sound stupid. Because I wrote
Is it
county.
I have it wrote down as county, and I said country just now, didn't I?
Yeah.
All
Well,
right,
we're professionals.
I don't know.
Is there an R in the name?
I don't have one wrote down.
Oh boy.
Give me 1 second.
I swear we're professionals at this, and we both played this game to completion and got the 1Ks in a couple of hours. I'll lead with that while I stall for time while Blake double checks the name of the game.
It's Donut County. Yeah.
So it is county.
Yeah.
I was right.
Yes, I was too. I have it wrote down, but I said country because I'm a freaking moron. I drink too much, guys.
Anyway.
All right, so Donut County. It originally came out August 28th, 2018. And now it's on everything, from my understanding. You can get it on mobile, Switch, PlayStation, so on and so forth. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, it was developed by a single gentleman, Ben Esposito. And he's made a couple of games by himself and also been a working member of a team to create some others. I couldn't differentiate between the two on his list of games he's made. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to kind of ramble off a couple of them. And a few of them just based off, like, oh, that's definitely a team. He didn't do that by himself. Maybe he did, but...
I mean, even this game, though not very... It's not epic or complicated or anything. Even this game is like, one guy did this, that's kind of cool. I mean, anytime one person makes a video game...
Oh, yeah.
It's impressive. No matter... Well, I'll say, if you make some stick figures running across a board and all you do is jump. I mean...
Do you guys take
I say that's not impressive, but I guess just anybody, one person making something and putting it out is always going to be, at least the bottom line, impressive.
We think the timing, the precision, the physics engine, it's a lot of work for something that stick ninjas and stuff like that. Or
take back what I said. It's incredible. He makes anything.
Mm-hmm. So he's responsible for upwards of 15 games. And I guess some of them he's part of teams.
A lot of mobile stuff, probably.
I believe so. I'm going to go through and name off a couple of them. And again, I know 2 of them aren't mobile, but I think everything else probably is. So bear with me. One's called Perfect Stride. It's like a walking simulator. One's called Crap, No One Loves Me. And it's about it's like a dating sim. Yeah. Trying to get people to fall in love with you. Then there's one called Pale Machine. Land of the Snooze King. Tattletale. This one's actually kind of cool. This one's called Capsule Silence XXI4. Capsule Silence 24. It was actually a collaboration between him and Anamanaguchi.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And those who don't know who Anamanaguchi is, they are, was it chiptune, bittune?
Like a chiptune, bittune kind of band, yeah. They, besides being, they're probably, I don't go listen to that kind of music normally, but I think not most. Some of their notoriety comes from being the intro to the Nerdist, and then when Nerdist changed to ID10T, he used a different Anamanaguchi song. So they got a lot of on those 2 podcasts, got a lot of play as being the intro to that podcast.
And let's see, what's another one? He has A Room of 1,000 Snakes, Nudo, Nudo. I don't know what that is.
So is this his first game to come to a console?
I think it's him specifically, but he was on a team with these 2 other ones. Whatever Happened to Edith Finch and Unfinished Swan.
He worked on Edith Finch?
Mm-hmm. But I think those were...
But he's not part of that studio.
I think he was a team... He might be a team member still, because both of those are the same company.
The Unfinished Swan was pretty cool, too. It's been years since I played it, but I remember liking the Unfinished Swan. A nice little... I hate saying walking simulator, but it's kind of what it is. It's a
puzzle thing, too.
Almost what Edith Finch is, really a walking simulator, but with a great story. That's cool he worked on those.
Mm-hmm. So he worked on those with teams.
You could see the Unfinished Swan in this a little bit, actually.
A little bit, the art style. Definitely the art style, for sure.
Yeah. Is that all for the...
And one other one he just wrote, it was called Brooklyn Trash King.
That's interesting history there for him.
He's quite a few things, but again, I'm pretty sure some of those he was a part of the team, and others he did by himself.
Well, we know Edith Finch is a team, is a company. We've had it on the podcast a long time ago. We might not have gave the game its due, probably, but we don't deep dive into a lot of games.
Well, because we'll deep diving would spoil the story, and part of the story is that
it's the story of that game. Yeah, and we played Unfinished Swan years before we had this and I don't know if I had to go back and... Now, if it came to Xbox, it was originally a PlayStation exclusive, PS4.
I got the platinum, or if you even had a platinum.
It's not a hard platinum. You had to find all those balloons or something. But if it ever came to Xbox, I would do it again. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So we have another game that was on PlayStation that's sitting on our Xbox consoles that you want to do real bad. The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. You want to do real
I want
bad?
to do it again, yeah,
Yeah.
because I love that. Of
was a
all
cool
my
game.
walking simulators that I've played,
Yeah, that's really cool.
that's my favorite.
Yeah, cool. And we'll have to. It's sitting on. I think it's sitting on your console. I think you're staring at it. Maybe.
No, it's in my list to download.
Yeah. Oh, when you got your new Xbox, it wasn't installed.
no.
Anyway, we're getting sidetracked there. Yeah, very cool.
So that's a lot about the creator, Ben Esposito. If you like this game or any of the other things that I mentioned, please give Donut County a try.
Yeah, Google them up. See, a lot of that sounds like it'd be on mobile stuff. I imagine.
I'm pretty sure it is. But I mean, hey, if it makes some money, let him do his thing, and it's not a stupid match 3.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
Awesome. Before we get to the kind of game we mentioned, the art a second ago. Mm-hmm. How would you? We struggle with art, describing art in words sometimes in graphics, and we use the word minimalist too much. I don't think this is a minimalist game, but it's kind of almost walks the fine line. There's not fine details on stuff, I don't think, but people have. So we play the occasional game where characters don't have faces. These people have faces.
Barely, but yeah they have faces.
Is it so? And there's like the environments are just covered in objects. It's so hard to describe art when something like some games like the AAA games, stuff like that, just go to look real, and real is almost easy.
Yeah.
To an extent, art style, getting a unique art style is you're either look real or you're a dumb pixel game. And everybody kind of gets our opinion on everything being pixel games these days. This is not a pixel game. It does remind me of Unfinished Swan a little bit. I just wish people knew what Unfinished Swan looked like. The best bet is, like, while we're talking about this, to go ahead and Google a couple of screenshots, probably to get an idea of what it looks like. We may start mentioning that on games we can't describe very well. Just Google pictures, like right now. I mean, you're already on your phone. Just Google Donut County and see what it looks like. Do you want to go into the kind of game? It's not particularly the loosest genre is puzzle game.
It's a puzzle game, but a more apt description is it is a reverse Katamari Damacy. Mm-hmm. Now, those who aren't familiar with Katamari Damacy, is you start out with like a tiny little ball, and you roll and you pick up small things, and your ball gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually you're rolling up buildings, the Statue of Liberty, and then you get to a point where you're rolling up planets and solar system. It's just something like that. It's silly like that. This doesn't get that big and ridiculous.
Yeah, which I think it loses some of its possible potential by not going bigger and bigger. But it kind of fits within the silly little story.
It's only supposed to be in this county. Yeah. But it starts out as you're a tiny, and
you get to the storyline of what's going on first.
Yeah, the whole point of the story is you're I think you play as BK.
You're playing as the raccoon who's playing on his phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you work at a donut shop with your human friend Mira.
Is she the only person that's like a human? I think everybody else is, what do you call it?
Anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphic animals?
Yeah.
Well,
I think she has a friend, but even I think her friend...
her friend's the raccoon, right?
Yeah, well, I think everyone might be anthropomorphized. There's raccoons, alligators, hippo, foxes. So I think she's the only human. I think.
Which is not mentioned in the...
No, it's not even brought up at all, but...
Yeah.
So, it's a silly little story. The whole point of the story is you work at the donut shop called Donut County, and you deliver donuts, and everyone orders them through an app, and that's what your raccoon buddy BK is doing. He's, sending the stuff through on the app that, make these donuts, he's sending the deliveries, but he's also playing a game, and something happens on his phone, and they merge together. So he stops sending donuts to people, and he starts sending holes to people.
Donut holes. Which is, we get to it now, is like a black hole in the ground.
It just gets, and the more stuff you eat, the bigger it gets, and the bigger stuff you can eat. And it's broken down to about 15 or 20 quick levels.
I didn't write down how many levels it was.
That might even be too many, because it's a very quick game. I beat the game in like 5 hours. Like right on the dot. It was like 4.
5 hours?
Because I had to go back and...
Did I do it in one sitting? I can't remember if I did it in one sitting or not.
Because I had to go back in multiple times, because one of the achievements is beating the final boss without getting hit. And so I had to try that a couple of times. So everything added together. Like if you just did the game time, it was probably 3.
You play through and then you got to go hop around and get a couple of things. There is a area where you have to collect a radio in the area last because the radio is playing an achievement, something like let the radio play the entire time. So you got to collect everything else in the map, or maybe you don't collect the radio at all. You have to for the level to end. So the radio we have to be the last thing you grab, but it's like sitting on inside the puzzle element comes is the radio sitting on something else. So you have to, like, when your hole is smaller, you have to like wiggle things and make sure the radio doesn't fall in to the hole because it's got to be the last thing you grab, and then you move around and grab everything else and come back for the radio and get it last, which I did because I tried that. I was like, I'm gonna do this on my first playthrough.
But it sounds annoying.
Because it sounds annoying. I did it first and nailed it because I was like, I'm gonna try, and if I mess up, then I'll chapter skip back to this later. But I got that knocked out first try. Got lucky. A little bit of lucky. I mean, you're playing, so it's a little bit of skill. But so you just do the radio last, and that pops a different achievement from just eating everything. Okay, you got to go back. So I got to level skip back and just complete the level eating everything again. I feel like I'm missing a point of that. Like, why would it be different with the radio? There's the radio last. I wonder if you don't collect the radio, if the level just ends, and I don't remember now.
I think the radio ends regardless because it's something weird. It's one of those weird pointless achievements.
Achievement that makes you come back and play again, basically. Yeah. Anyway, there's a couple of those.
There's a few. Now, as far as that goes, you get a couple of functions, I guess, with the donut, because you absorb a few things and you get to.
Mainly, the first thing you really do is you eat like a campfire or something. It's like one of the first things you do. That's not so much an app function as it's something that just happens. Is you'll eat a fire, and your hole seems bottomless, but all of a sudden there's fire in there, and you can like light. I think you light things, and then your heat of the coming out will move things. Is that kind of what it does?
Yeah. Well, one of the puzzle things was getting people were hiding inside a building you couldn't get to, so you had to eat the campfire, and you're like, what do I do now? And you ended up picking up a bunch of corn in a nearby cornfield, and you filled up the barn, and everything exploded out of the barn, and you picked
popcorn. I remember the popcorn. That was cool.
Because it was literally like you ate a bunch of corn, and then you just went and hid under
popcorn starts just popping out of your hole. It's fun.
Yeah. So it's got some cute little comedy bits. Yeah. That are pretty fun.
Yeah. Like you say, talk about stuff popping out is when you drop 2 rabbits into your hole. And it starts, and the little hearts start popping out of your hole, and then it starts just launching. You're just like rabbits just start rocketing out of your hole, and you gotta. I forget what you're using all the rabbits for.
Oh, you're using them to like hit stuff off of a building.
Like knock something, because it's like a machine gun of rabbits. It was so funny at the time.
Because it's like bing, 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 and you have to use this like knock stuff off a railing.
Yeah.
Because you're not big enough to like. Eat the leg of this thing and make it tip over.
So you just knock it over with the machine gun rabbit fire.
And there's one other function I think that I can't remember, and it worked as a sort of No, was it a trampoline? No, I think it was a catapult function, where some of the bigger items like wrecking balls and bowling balls and a few other things, and you would turn that into sort of Angry Bird style, where you would take it back, go up under something, or go off to the side, and you would relaunch the item up to kind of like break through something into smaller bits, so you could eat up all the smaller bits, get bigger, and then tackle like go eat the corn, the wheat silo, or something like that. Stuff that couldn't be broken. And I mean, it's a silly little game, but it's fun. It's enjoyable. Especially if you're not even trying to get the 1K, you could beat it in a night and just have fun and go on to the next thing. If you're someone who doesn't have a lot of time for some of the bigger games.
The story is really like everybody's. So I guess okay, that's not true. There is a bottom to the hole, because you're kind of.
It's a frame story.
Everybody's gathered down in a hole, and everybody's mad at the raccoon for doing it. He's trying to explain him, talk his way out of every. And then the girl is like, "What about that area?" And then it goes to that level, and you play the level, and then he comes back, and he's trying to talk his way out, like how it's not his fault.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a bottom to the hole, and all the stuff is down in the hole. And that's how it kind of sets up each level, is him trying to, like, she'll see, like, what about this time? Or actually goes around and everybody talks, like, what happened to you? And they're like, I did this, and then the donut showed up, and then they complain, and then he's a sly little raccoon tries to talk his way out of what's going on. The game is like keeps happening to us. The game is missing voice acting.
He's no Sly Cooper.
Like I said, the game is missing voice acting, which would have helped, especially I think with a cast of characters of various animals and stuff like that. Again, small company. Well, one guy, obviously, so we'll cut one guy some slack and say it's okay. But I think it would have been really cool if he had a little backing and got a handful. It's what maybe half a dozen characters.
They make the little noise, so it doesn't really count. But
it doesn't count really. But I think it would have helped a little bit. Other stuff. There is a couple of other achievements. Really, we don't talk about achievements too much, but there's a couple of specific ones in this game. We've mentioned a couple already. One that I was particularly dreading was there's a part where you have to go make soup, and when you do it initially, the first run through, you only got to make. I forget how you only got to make you're a hole, and you got to obviously you're a hole. I forget how it works. Like I know you pull down the thing and it starts boiling the soup or something. How do you get I forget how you get. There's a thing in the back that's rotating salt and pepper. So you pull the lever and it dumps the soup into the hole. Now why the soup sits in the hole and doesn't fall down to the bottom of the world, we're not going to worry about that.
Math magics.
So you get the soup and there's this bird in the corner, like those little tippy birds that like tip down and hit the water. You gotta go over to him last. You gotta go to the thing and get. I forget how is the recipe written on the wall. Like it's like one pepper, one salt, or something like 2 peppers and a salt.
Yeah, it's like 2 peppers.
There's this thing rotating in the background. It's got salt and pepper, and if you go up to it while it's there, it just tips over and puts a little bit of salt or a little bit of pepper in there. And you got to do that. While you're doing that, roaches will come out and try to touch your soup. The roach touches your soup, you lose.
It's spoiled.
It spoils. But when you initially play, I think the recipe is a lot shorter. It's like 1 salt or 1 pepper or something like that. And you go over to the bird, and the bird tastes the bird's like, yay, and then you move on. What you're missing, I think, is somewhere later in the game, you eat certain items, and the game does keep a compendium of everything you've eaten. And you do eat a cookbook in another level. And it gives you the recipe for the achievement. So that's when you go back.
Yeah. And
I was dreading this because you got to deal with multiple roaches.
Every time you get a dash of salt or pepper, it puts another roach in there. You have to dodge around.
It's like pepper, salt, pepper. So we use TA for this, and what TA recommends was kind of just circling the room. Like you got to avoid the birds. As you're circling, you got to avoid the bird and avoid the salt and pepper if it's not what you want. You just keep circling as the roaches will just kind of follow you in a circle. That's how I did it.
Yeah.
You kind of follow you in a circle, and I was dreading this achievement, but I got it in one try.
I think I got it second try because they ended up hitting the bird and took the soup and it moved me past it. That's just like the intro to the level.
Yeah.
So you just restart and you start the level over.
That was one. What else? Is there any other ones you want to mention before we talk? Kind of, because there's not. Because you don't want to spoil all the levels because that's the game.
Yeah.
I think we should talk about the. Should we talk about the last boss?
It's someone called the Trash.
The Trash King. But yeah, that's not. I mean, that's important for the story, I guess. But it's not. I mean, it's the only thing every time you ever really quote unquote fight something. It's like a machine. It's like a robot or like a flying thing and has missiles and stuff. And there's a certain way you have to fight it. There's I think there are 2 things you have to do. You have to beat it, one without getting hit, which
took me forever, but I got it eventually.
There's something else. Oh, what I missed is after you beat the boss, in the end, there's a statue on the bottom below because you're in a big Trash King mansion.
Yeah.
And I had to, I did the no hit. No dying. It's no dying.
No hit. Well, no hit equals no dying.
Because you get hit a few times.
Yeah,
oh, no. Here's what it is. Is it no hit?
It's no hit at all.
So there's a no hit achievement, which so here's what I did it. You did play through it multiple tries. Eventually I got the no hit achievement popped. I was like, sweet. Did the whole ending part, which is like you turning into a tornado, and I don't want to spoil anything. If you turn into a tornado and you're breaking the magic, there's a statue in front of the thing that you're supposed to break. I wasn't reading the guide at the time. I was like, I'm going to beat the game. We're done. Did that. Okay. Realized I didn't do the statue, and I was like, oh my god, I got to refight the boss. But you also have a die on the last boss achievement, so you just kind of sit there for a couple of minutes because it takes a lot of hits to kill you.
Yeah.
So you got to sit there. So I sat there on the boss, the final boss again, sat there for a couple of minutes, I think, waiting to die. Finally died. Had to refight the boss for a third time just to go break that statue and get that achievement for breaking that statue at the end. It was all yours in one solid run. But you had to go back for a dying.
Well, I did the dying first, okay. And then I did the tornado, and then I had to go back. I did everything else because I was like, if I can't get the soup and I can't get this, I'm not gonna try to get the no hit.
Or the 1K, yeah.
Yeah.
Just give up on the 1K.
So as I started cleaning up, I was like, I'm getting pretty close, and then I got down to just the soup and the no hits. And
if I can pull up my game time for Donut County on TA real quick. I like to give people a time frame of
an exact time frame.
Yeah, TA. I know we brag about TA, and it's big enough that Xbox has noticed this. Xbox has given them access to multiple things, but they recently got access in the past couple of months to player data, your player data if you're on the website for how long you play a game, which is pretty cool. It says I completed the game in 3 hours and 22 minutes.
That's 4 hours 55.
That's one sitting for me. I guarantee I probably played this in one night.
I bet your thing was, if I turn this off, I'm not turning it back on. I guarantee that's what your thought process was.
Probably. I'm gonna go ahead and rate it on here because you can rate on TA. I'll give it a 3.5. Not that that's relevant to the podcast, but I'll give 3.5 out of 5 for Donut County on TA. Anyway. I won't say much more about this because it's puzzles, so if you like that kind of stuff. We use the TA guide, but tells us exactly, there's a walkthrough on TA, tells us exactly kind of what to do, though obviously I messed up at the end by not reading stuff properly, but that's on me. It's a cute little game. I think maybe even at 3.5 hours, I kind of think it's a little too long. No, they don't do any repeat levels, which is good. You don't repeat any level. Well, do you go back to anywhere?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you kind of always going to a new place. So maybe that could be a little bit of my opinion, and the fact that I did it all in one. Maybe if I broke it into 2 nights, I wouldn't feel like, man, this is kind of dragging. That could just be on me. We did play this on Game Pass. It's now off Game Pass. Again, we're trying not to be the Game Pass podcast, so on purpose we did one Game Pass game and then one game we've bought on here, which is following this. I'd say this game, at 3 hours, this game's worth maybe every bit of $10.
I'd say between
more. I would not pay more than $10, and you could have some replay value. Or if you have,
you have kids, it'd be great.
I'm saying that's cool. It's the same thought I had. If you have kids can. They made it. A young kid would love just spinning around eating people and thinking it's funny. Mm-hmm. An older kid might play through it too. I need to maybe see if my kid likes it. I don't know, but you get a lot of value. You get a lot of value out of a $10 playthrough, and again. But people don't game hard like we do. Sometimes you might not beat this all in one sitting like I did. You got any final thoughts on it before we move on?
There was music in the game.
Yeah, I guess there is music technically.
It was forgettable, but it was just lighthearted and fun, I guess. Just kind of like your standard, like boop 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 boop. No, it wasn't like that. Yeah, but it was just kind of like some silly little. Background soft beat, soft guitar, like indie rock music. I'm going to say rock, but indie music. Mm-hmm. Stuff you hear on the WB. You know what I'm talking. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I guess so. It's not that. It's not. I remember being okay when I first started, and it kind of fading to the background. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean.
That's it for this one. Like I said, this is our one Game Pass episode. Episode. Our one Game Pass game for this episode. Now we're going to do a game that we actually purchased quite a long time ago, if I'm being honest. And then Blake played the game way before I did. I finally decided I need to sit down and run through it.
Our second game we'll be talking about is called Agatha Knife. So Agatha Knife originally came out in 2017. Now I think it's on everything. I think it's on not everything. I think it's on a couple of things. It might be a little violent for Switch. but we'll see. I'm not sure if it's on the Switch.
Nintendo. So there's a lot of violence, and the whole thing's kind of about religion, and Nintendo's real funny about religion in games. Real funny about it.
But yeah, somehow Isaac made it.
Exactly, but I think it took a long time before Isaac hit Switch. I guarantee a little bit of that was how popular Isaac is. But Nintendo was like, we can make a buck off this.
Yeah.
You know? So anyway.
So it was developed and published by the same group, and they're called Mango Protocol. And they're out of
interesting name.
They're out of Barcelona, Spain.
So, not to interrupt. Sometimes I wonder if there's ever a chance when you're looking at companies, if you could see that's a weird name. If you is it ever easy to see the reasoning behind a name, or is it always just to the company they don't talk about stuff like that usually?
Most of them don't, or some of them they're. I've had a few where, matter of fact, we just played through one that I guess they couldn't come up with a name for their studio. And so they named their studio after their first game.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
we'll talk about that.
Which
later.
is it's okay, really. I mean, it's a cool name, but to name it after your game, I would change one or the other. You know, because you don't want to be, unless they're gonna make more games just like that. We'll see when we talk about that game.
Yeah. But anyway, like I said, they're based out of Barcelona, Spain, and thus far they've made 4 games, 2 of which are. With this, they're called Psychotic Adventures.
Yeah, we've bought both of these. And
now, Agatha Knife is technically, it's a second, though it doesn't have much to do with the first one.
I thought this was the. Are you talking about this in Mechanica?
Yeah, Mechanica came out in 2015. It came out first. This one came out second.
What?
Mechanica came out first.
Dang, I thought we played them out of order by accident.
Yeah, but we didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't know. Dang.
I didn't know until I started doing the research. Because the character Mechanica is...
in the game.
Is Agatha's best friend-ish. And but you only interact with her a little bit. I was like, oh, people must have wanted more of her. I didn't realize it was the other way around.
Yeah, I like how we're finding out. I like how I'm learning on the podcast that I played the wrong game first.
But they're called the Psychotic Adventures, and it's Mechanica and Agatha Knife, and I do believe they're working on more, because it's a pretty weird world, and it's full of wacky doodads that can go on.
Yeah.
But those 2 games and 2 other games they made, one is called... So it's called Hell Snails, and then they have a second one called Snack Root, and both of those are on like the PC and Windows. I think Agatha and Mecha are their first console ones. And so the point of Agatha Knife is it is a point and click adventure, kind of like almost honestly kind of like Flash Player. It's something that you definitely probably could have played on Newgrounds back in the day, for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of Newgrounds, the art style of this, I wrote in my notes, the art style is kind of like Castle Crashers, which originally I think debuted a small version of that debuted on Newgrounds, I think.
Yeah.
Could be wrong. This game I wrote down that looks like Castle Crashers or a little bit of Adventure Time.
Yeah.
Kind of smashed together a little bit.
Like maybe a slightly darker Adventure Time.
Oh, it's definitely a darker tone. Well, Adventure Time can get dark.
Yeah, very, very.
So it has kind of the I'd say more like Castle Crashers. The way you move and the kind of the blood and stuff like that. I think it kind of looks more like Castle Crashers mixed with Adventure Time. So see, art's easy this time because we have 2 big reference points.
And like I said earlier, it's a point and click. That's the best way to describe it. And it does some things wrong because the whole point of the game is you do run back and forth.
It's one of my notes.
A lot.
I wrote down the traffic crossing is annoying.
But we've played
so before you move on, I wrote traffic crossing is annoying. That's because you're literally running back and forth across this town. But the thing, and maybe if they developed on a modern console, they wouldn't I'm sure this was an Xbox game. If they developed it if they had developed it for like Series X hardware, it'd have been one solid map. But this map is divided by block street corners. There's traffic lights, like little walking traffic lights at each side of the corners, and it's divided into 4 or 5 blocks. And at each block, you click and you're running along. At each block, you have to stop and click on the light for her to cross the street. That's really just you clicking, saying, "I want to go to the next screen.
Please start loading."
Yeah, load the next side. And you do this 100 or more times, and you're running back and forth across the town. And there's one fast travel thing in the game, which we'll get to when Blake probably going to talk about that character.
Yeah.
There's one fast travel thing that literally goes one way. You can only go from it to one place, which is kind of dumb. And then you have to run back. Let's say you have to talk to this person, get something from him. He'll fast travel you to the place where you're going to go, talk to that, and then you got to talk to him again. So you got to run back to the opposite end of the map where he is. To me, it was as good a spot as any. I didn't get the 1K for this. I think Blake might have.
I didn't
either.
because it requires a second playthrough.
Because it requires a second playthrough, and I'm not clicking across this map again. And I think it's only a partial playthrough, maybe.
Yours will be, mine will be a full playthrough because
you messed up the money thing.
Yeah,
we can talk about that. But because of that, literally because of the walking back and forth is why I did not. And that's we referenced that in Black Sad too. I think this is worse than Black Sad. This is noticeably worse than Black Sad when it comes to traveling.
Yeah.
Back and forth. So we get our biggest and main complaint, I think, out of the way, because we talk about the good stuff of the game, but that right there is the exact reason why we didn't finish this game. We beat the game, we just didn't get the 1K.
Now, we've played a few other point and clicks throughout, like technically Black Mirror was a point and click, and a few others were kind of like along that style.
Black Mirror point and click?
I mean, it was a style. It definitely could have been.
I think you had control of the character though.
Yeah, but more some of it was early.
We've played it. We just reference to other episodes of the podcast. We did a few point and click things.
One of them was My Brother Rabbit.
Brother Rabbit. No, that's straight point and click.
Yeah, Artifix Mundi. But their thing, at least when you
shift the maps.
Yeah, you could with the analog, not the analog, with the D-pad. You could just hit left, right, up, down, and it would literally just move you the screen. You didn't have to walk to the other side of the screen. Like, it could have did that, Or makes me worry because if they're doing the clicking like that much in Agatha Knife, and that's the second game they didn't learn. I'm worried what Mecha is like.
A little bit, yeah.
But at the very least, give me a Y button to pull down a map.
Just click on.
Do I want to go to the bookstore? Do I want to go to the circuit?
Yeah, easy. It's such an easy fix.
But it wasn't there, and it was just.
Yeah. It's fine.
No, but like admittedly, the running back and forth. It wasn't so annoying in the first part of the game because there's all sorts of wacky characters, and the game is loaded with like parodies and little Easter eggs. That's my other note.
So I mean, my notes start off with first thing I noticed was a Princess Mononoke reference, so I wrote that down.
Yeah, I took a picture of it.
But then you start seeing references everywhere. I was like, oh, okay, so I'm not going to write down any more references because the whole game is just filled with art and other references to everything these developers love.
Yeah, yeah. One of the first thing you see that Drew's talking about from Princess Mononoke, if anyone's familiar with what Princess Mononoke is, which you should be, it's a Hayao movie. It's actually, I think it's
Hayao Miyazaki.
Yeah, Hayao Miyazaki. And I think it was his first one that got big over here in like 1997.
Mononoke would have gotten more commercial success than what's her name, the other one in the valley, Nausicaa in the Valley. I think Nausicaa, I don't know all the history of Nausicaa may have come out over here, but I think Mononoke was a commercial
I think Mononoke
success.
was the first, because I remember there being...
It was Mononoke and then Spirited Away, pretty much.
Because I remember Mononoke being big trailers, because you had Billy Bob Thornton and Jada Pinkett Smith and Jillian.
Had a lead
It
cast.
went to theaters over here.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that was probably released by Disney over here, probably.
Yeah, and then it got huge, and then they started bringing all this other stuff over here. But anyway, those who are familiar with Princess Mononoke, the guardian of the forest... And he changes from daytime, nighttime. He's like a weird looking deer with a face, and he's a crazy dark creature at nighttime. But during the daytime, he's that goofy looking deer with a face. Now, spoiler alert: if you haven't seen Princess Mononoke, that particular spiritual deity gets decapitated. And
you didn't like have to spoil that to tell them what's in Agatha Knife.
Well, his head mounted is in Agatha Knife.
But that could just be an art thing. It ain't got to be the spoiler for the movie.
Well, if
whatever. He said spoiler before, I guess.
But
anyway, but there's too many references.
There's a lot of
to go by them all. You have to see all. It's every screen.
And God forbid, at one point you go into a comic book shop and they're all over the place and they're little action figures and doodads and stuff they don't have the rights to. So instead of Spider-Man, it's Arachnid Boy and stuff like that. So
I did write down, though there's tons of references, Agatha herself seems to hate nerds, which is strange. Why would you have this much love for pop culture and then have your title character like just really think nerds are the dumbest thing in the world. You catch how she talked about stuff like that?
Oh yeah, she was like, she never was like damn nerd, but she's like, oh, this is stupid. Like she hated going to the comic book store. Like she was, because she had to go in there to.
She made comments about she'd make comments about how she thought everything was dumb and stuff like that. Talking about talking again. Here we are, smaller indie developer, a game with lots of talking.
No voice acting. No, nothing.
Yeah. Did you say the number of employees for the studio?
I did not. I couldn't.
But this is a studio.
Find it.
It's
a studio.
Have people in your studio just throw some voices, any kind of voice. Sometimes even a bad voice will bring something to a character that makes it more interesting than just reading dialogue. Or something could pop. Like, I mean, we already covered Hellblade, hadn't we? Mm-hmm. That girl who plays Senua just worked for the company, and she was a stand-in for scenes
until they could
find an actress, and they loved her so much. She did so good that she became the title character for now. What's now going to be a gigantic franchise, I'm sure, as Microsoft bought that company because of that game, because of how great she was. Now you can't. That's a bad comparison to this little game Agatha Knife, which is nowhere near the quality and writing and stuff like that of Hellblade. But I'm just saying, we complain about voice acting in every episode, and we're going to continue to complain until every game in the world has voice acting. Even games without dialogue need to have voice acting.
So from what I can tell, I think it's three people, 3 friends.
Well, good. There's Agatha, Mecca, and they can goof off and voice some other people. As long as they have a girl.
Random side note is they have a 3rd game coming out, Psychotics Colossus Down, and it takes place after, because all I'm going off is the title art. And it's got Nika with a giant mech behind her, and it's got Agatha with glowing red eyes and the giant bleeding pig behind her.
Okay. We got to be Mechanica first. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
But hey, I was wrong. It's on Switch, PS4, Xbox, and Steam. All are on the Switch.
Maybe they loosened up with Isaac.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They're like, people
got some new heads. I mean,
did someone step down? Nintendo?
No, on America's side. Okay. Nothing's going to change at Nintendo ever, probably really, but nothing major is going to change while Miyamoto's still alive. But America, I can't think of the guy's name. Reggie Watts maybe.
No, that's a comedian, dude.
Comedian. Okay, Reggie something was the American. He stepped down, and then this other guy, Doug Bowser, I think his name is. People thought it was so funny. His last name is literally Bowser. Doug Bowser took up as the new president of Nintendo America. Anyway,
yeah,
that has nothing to do with this game being on Switch.
But yeah, anyway, sorry. So we said earlier, I may have spoiled things a little bit just now, talking about the Great Bleeding Pig, but that's part of the story. Let me kind of delve into that.
Yeah, well, what it's about.
The whole point of the story is Agatha and her mom, they run a butcher shop. And Agatha loves animals. And she's so sad that they get scared of her when she has to kill them, to butcher them for the butcher shop, and it makes her so sad. And so that's how messed up this little girl is. And her mom's store is failing. People are getting, better prices at like the local markets. And so in order to keep her mom from coming down, she's going around trying to do all these money schemes. And she walks into a big, government building, and there's a guy who was like, "Hey, you want to make a quick buck?" And she's like, "Yeah, I need to make money." He's like, "The way to make money."
Was that just a library? You said government building. Is that just a library?
No, it's a government building, wasn't it? And then you go to the library later.
Because I'm trying to think about that building. I don't remember that scene with that building.
This is at the very beginning. It's right after you leave the Time Lord Church, and you go across the street. And she was like, "This religion's stupid." And she goes to try to, but she sees all the money he's making, and then she goes to the office building, and then you...
Oh, okay. Yeah, the guy... Okay, yeah. I'm thinking big building. This is just a guy in an office.
Just a little office building, yeah.
Yeah.
He tells her the best way to make money is to create your own religion. Mm-hmm. And so she ends up... The whole point of the game is
Let's note, too, how old Agatha's supposed to be.
Agatha's like 9.
Yeah, I think maybe younger,
maybe 10. She's
not double digits. I think she's 7 or 9. Like, she's young, and the way she talks is weird, and like what she's doing is wild. I mean, but go ahead.
And so the whole point of this is like she's trying to get money so that she can fund her mom's store so it won't go under. And she eventually settles on you answer this questionnaire, and it's obviously it's it really doesn't matter what you answer because all the answers lead to the exact same place, but it leads to her creating a religion called carnivorism. And the deity that you worship in carnivorism is the great bleeding pig with bleeding eyes and bleeding nose and bleeding ears. He's just bleeding all over the place. And it's a religion, oddly enough, not for people. It's a religion
only for animals.
It's a religion only for animals. And she has to convert. Basically, you go through all these things. You have to get a license to practice. You have to get
like any point and click game. You're clicking around, talking to people, and trying to figure out the next step to put stuff together to get to another place to solve a puzzle and to move forward. It's a point and click. Yeah.
But it'll culminate eventually to you getting animals to,
which can talk, by the way.
Yeah, all the animals can talk, and no one's weirded out by it.
Well, they only talk to her, don't they?
I guess they do only talk to her. I guess that is true because it's one of the perks of being the founder of carnivorism and being chosen by the Great Bleeding Pig.
Yeah, she has a title. It's like the priestess or something. She has some title. She's just given.
That she makes up, but it's given to her because I
think it's given to her by the
Great Bleeding Pig. Yeah. Now, it's weird. It is really weird. It would be superbly made better with a little bit of voice acting. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, a little bit of voice acting.
Anyway, I don't want to spoil too much of the story because that's what you're playing the point and click for, to get all the story and see some of the wacky characters.
There's no major puzzles in this.
They're all, it's all the point and clicks are weird. It's like, combine the bucket with the ladder.
Like we said before, we're not going to beat on it anymore, but the majority of this game is footwork.
Yeah.
Running back and forth. There's literally one end of the map, and then you run to the other end of the map, and there's a thing that takes you to. I was like, you just run to the farm. Mm-hmm. The farm's just on the final map. You just run to the farm, talk to the animals, and try to convince them to convert them into. I think they all join on the first run. They're all like, "Yeah, this sounds great," and then one pig's like, "Wait a minute," and then you gotta convert that pig to be the martyr.
The martyr of your religion.
Convince all the other animals to join.
And again, it's really messed up. It's silly and it's fun.
Oh, it's immensely dark. I mean, it really is.
As long as you have a dark sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like if you're playing this.
I wonder if Mechanica is as dark as this, or
it might not be.
Might not be, yeah.
But anyway, I beat the game. I looked at my time just now. I was literally 5 hours and 55 minutes.
I'm checking mine right now. TA is going to be a great reference because not only that. TA has a game time. It has at the very top next to the game. It has its original price. That's just kind of cool. You can pay. So I played for 4. I beat the game in 4 hours and 26 minutes. That's a beating the game. I didn't go back for any other achievements. I didn't start a second playthrough, and that's literally. Let's see, my not one. Every achievement, but it's every achievement but 2. And because there's a achievement in the library where you so there's 2 ways to get into the library. A library card. There's fake it. There's a fake it or get an actual library card made with Nika, because Nika's a member of the library. So you just go ask Nika and you just get one made, I think.
We have to make yourself look like her, but yeah, you have to go to the costume shop and make yourself look like Nika.
See, I didn't do that one. I did the other one. So you got the new look achievement. That's called new look achievement. You got that one.
No, I think I did the other one because I was spending money. You do that one when you're not spending money. So you should have.
So maybe I messed up.
Or maybe I'm confused.
But so what I'm missing is that one, and then the didn't spend him. So I spent money. So I got the I didn't get the don't spend, and then the different. So I'm going to replay it's like a partial playthrough. Up to a certain point to get 2 achievements. I might do it. I might try it if I'm bored one night. Just kind of run up to the, because you pop both of those achievements before completion. So I don't know. I'll think about it. I maybe should have done it before this, but because whether or not the 1K is not entirely relevant to the podcast. Are you looking at yours real quick to see what you got?
It was. I can't even think of the word. I guess it was 6 hours.
I mean, your
for the
your
achievements.
I think you messed up or something while you were playing. I think you remember you originally told me like, man, I messed up and I might have to do 3 playthroughs or some nonsense now, and you're just not going to do it. I was like, that's fine with me. I mean, and initially I intended to do both playthroughs side by side, but again, the clicking back and forth wore me out.
I have 2, and they are: you didn't spend any money in the entire game, and you pretended to be Nika at the library and got away with it.
Same 2 I got. Same 2 I need. So you didn't mess up. Either that or we both messed up.
We both messed. You're supposed to go through and not spend any money your first playthrough. You're supposed to not spend any money. That way you only have to do a 75% playthrough. If you spend...
I think the guy gets confusing when it gets to that part about what you need to do, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm probably not going to do it then. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, anything else before I'll talk about the last part?
Nah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I was going to talk about Sando, but he's the guy who fast traveled. He's a crazy time wizard who's...
Yeah, and you talk about him. We talked about that. So he's one of the characters you probably need to talk about for a second.
He's the person that's helping... He was the guy inside the booth that told you to start your own religion. And he's just some, I guess, homeless guy who chills out at the carnival. He has his own little trailer, and he's like a traveling wizard, magician, tarot card reader, psychic that hangs out at the carnival, which is literally on the outside of town. So anytime, like you said,
it's the last map before, like behind you have his little cart, and behind his cart in the background is the farm, and you click on the farm to travel to the farm. He's the farthest left you can go.
Yeah, he's literally the second to furthest point in the game.
Yeah.
And so you can finish with the farm or be at the library and walk 2 screens over to the carnival and get warped back. Because he warps you back to your butcher shop. He only
warps you back to the butcher shop, which is 3 or 4 screens away to the right. He'll only warp you to there, and that's it. Because he has because of the religion, he has some connection to that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
it doesn't really explain it other than just... Anyway.
There's something about his character, wasn't it? Wasn't there something funny about his character?
There's a lot of things.
Was it the funny magic he was like fake magic he was doing or something like that? He would like throw dust when he was saying something. Oh, every time he said his name, he would throw this dust down and it was going to go.
Sando the Awesome.
Yeah, but he wasn't really that awesome. But anyway, he's like the main guy who's helping you build the religion. He's one of the characters you kind of talk to the most. And there's your mom, but you don't really talk to your mom all that much. You kind of really talk to a lot of animals. You talk to your mom a little bit. You talk to Nika a little bit, but you really probably talk to Sandro. Is that his name? Sando the most. You talk to a couple animals. So, and the guy in the comics. There's a couple of characters. There's a cast here of a little world they're building. Apparently, they up to at least a trilogy of games.
Third game, yeah.
So it's kind of neat. So this is a game we actually purchased. God knows how long ago. Doesn't really matter. Blake played it a year before I did.
Played it a while ago.
Maybe.
We're in the early. Yeah. Spots in my notebook.
Again,
spit over myself.
We reference it a lot, but TA is great now because TA not only shows our times and all that fun stuff, it shows its original price on here. Its original price of this game is $11.99. I would stick below $10 for this. I know compared to quality of time, I mean maybe because time spent, $10 or less. I bet you can find anywhere you could probably bundle this and Nika together. I think I've seen the psychotic, whatever it's called, the psychotic bundles on the Xbox, or even when the new one comes out, there might be a cool little thing. If you buy all 3 of them, you might get a discount. But I bet they're all around the same length of time, and I would say $10 or less for anyone. And they're on sale all the time. You might have actually just missed the Halloween sale, which probably, I bet both of them would have been in the Halloween sale. But I guess when I was playing, I was annoyed by the walking, but in hindsight, thinking about it, I did kind of enjoy it. I kind of look forward to seeing what Nika does. I wish I played it first, and then seeing where this third game goes. I mean, it's an interesting little world to play in, so I do recommend trying it out. Blake, got anything else?
No, I'm okay.
All right, so last and certainly not least, I'm going to tell you about a band. And a fairly new band, sort of, that's just getting started. It's kind of cool. They have a little bit of an advantage to other bands getting started. I'll tell you why. This band is called Vended. You may be hearing them, you may be getting a little bit of radio play if you listen to rock stations in the area, and I bet they're on all the little satellite rock and metal stations. That's because, among other members, Vended is vocalist. I say lead vocalist. As a vocalist is Griffin Taylor. He is the son of Corey Taylor of Slipknot and Stone Sour fame, and Corey's recently been touring under his own name. He has a solo record out. He's been touring.
Corey M.F. Taylor.
Yeah, Corey M.F. Taylor. So you should know who Corey Taylor is by now. His son's got a band. It's 5 members, a bunch of his son and a bunch of friends they're in Des Moines. Of course, they started the band in 2018, and they've been actually playing some shows. They played Knotfest, of course, because how could he not play Knotfest? Let his son play Knotfest. It's pretty cool. There's currently no album. I'm sure it's very close. If they're playing shows, they've got a couple of songs in the bag. There's 2 on Spotify. I want to play one of them. There's 2 songs on Spotify. I actually haven't heard the second song yet, so I think it's a new release. But what's really cool, I mean, I'm sure the whole thing will sound like, but it just sounds, if you're a fan of old Slipknot, I'm reading a lot of comments on their social media and stuff like that. People are just like, it just sounds like old Slipknot, and that's awesome, because modern Slipknot is not what it used to be, we'll say. But sure. These guys, it just sounds like classic, like first album Slipknot, and amazingly enough, I'm sure he grew up around it, and his Griffin sounds like his dad when he was a teenager, but not, whatever, this early Slipknot years, like Griffin sounds like his dad. So like, if you really like old Slipknot, I'm sure you're gonna really dig what Vended sounds like. There's not much more to say. That's pretty good, all the info about the band right now that I have, because they're still relatively new, and I'm excited to see what they do. And ironically, as of the recording of this podcast, when I was looking up the songs and stuff on Spotify tells you tours, and Vended is playing here in Nashville in 2 days, and that's too short notice for me. They're actually playing at a place we know in Nashville, and I was like, dang, if I'd known about this, a couple of weeks ago, I might have tried to make this happen, but it's on a Tuesday, so going to a concert on a Tuesday is kind of awkward. But anyway, of the 2 songs that are out, I don't have the name of the other one. I forgot to write it down, but I'm going to play their first single, their first release. No album, of course, like I said, but this song is called Asylum. And I enjoyed it quite a bit because I'm a big fan of, let's say, first 2 albums, of course, of Slipknot. It kind of starts to fade after that. For me, I like a song off the third, a couple of songs off the third, a couple of songs off the fourth, and then we start fading into obscurity when they start losing, band members, I guess we'll say losing, quote unquote. There's, you can Google your own Slipknot history. Big Slipknot fans will know the history of the later years of Slipknot. That's all I've got for Vended. I'm going to play it after we wrap up. Do you have any? Because you've heard the song with me in the car.
It was great.
Yeah, you liked it a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have any other final thoughts on any of the games or anything about the podcast? And we'll get into this song.
No, I think I'm ready to jump into what's it called?
Vended. The band's Vended, of course. And then if you were listening to me while I was talking, the song, you're over there doing something else because you're done. When Blake's done, he is done. He's looking at porn or something over there.
I can't say that.
Anyway, so I'm going to play again, since Blake's wasn't listening. The song is called Asylum. It's a song you've heard. They have a new song which we're going to listen to probably today because I'm curious. And that's all I got. So thanks everybody for listening. Hit us up on all the social media stuff I said / internet, what'd you say? Internet something earlier in the podcast when you were talking about
Internet presence preamble.
Internet presence preamble. Now it's not a preamble no more. We're at the end. All the links to all that stuff is in the show notes. We're everywhere, and we're kind of we're just spreading all over the place like a disease or a VD or herpes. We're everywhere like herpes. That's all. I'm gonna stop talking before it gets worse and let Blake wrap this bad boy up, and you'll be hearing Asylum.
I want to wish everybody a good evening and good night.